guys, welcome back to my channel. This week I was a little bit obsessed with the whole process of cure. So I decided that today we're going to look closely into this matter. I will share with you what I found from my research. We will attempt to cure a salmon fillet with some salt and a little bit of herbs, and maybe, just maybe, we will cure something else. Curing is a huge and complex topic to cover in just one video. But if we have to define it in just one sentence, we would say that curing is a process of food preservation and flavoring. And also, I found out that there are two types of curing: dry cure and wet cure. Today, however, I'm going to attempt a dry cure on my salmon. The process of dry cure that people most oftenly use on salmon is called Gravlax, Gravlox, Lax, and many other names. More on that we will talk later on in the video, but right now let's start with the process. The three main components of curing a fish are salt, sugar, and a bunch of flavorings. Based on my research, here are the proportions that you should use for each one of these ingredients. But first, let's weight our salmon. As we can see, the net weight of our fillet is about 400 grams. In order for the cure to work, we will need at least 20% of salt. In other words, 80 grams. Now, let's talk about sugar. Some say that you need to use the same amount of sugar as amount of salt in the curing. And the others say that you need to use half of the amount of sugar. In order to answer this dilemma, let's try to think logically. The role of salt in the process is that it removes all the moisture from the product and slows down the bacteria growth. And it also, when we're talking about the meat products, it brings the soluble proteins to the surface and help meats to hold the shape. But when we are talking about sugar, it doesn't add much flavor to the product, except for the bacon. Instead, it just alleviates the harsh taste of salt and also promotes the growth of the useful bacteria like lactobacillus. So, after a long and very serious consideration, I've decided to go for a half amount of sugar. But if you think that I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear that. Time has come for the flavoring agents. When we are talking about lax or lox method, which is basically the same thing, just one person at one time misspelled it, and now we refer to this method in both ways. By the way, if you translate from Norwegian, it just means salmon. So, when we are looking at this method, Norwegians usually use just salt here, no flavoring agents. But there is another one called Gravlax or Gravlox. The same story applies here. This method was used by the Norwegian fishermen who decided to cure their fish by salting it with salt and burying it in the sand. In this method, people usually use whole bunch of dill and and sometimes peppercorns, horseradish, and juniper berries. But I don't have any of this, so I'm going to use my flavorings. First, bay leaves. Second, white peppercorns. Third, dry onion flakes, dry rosemary, and my secret ingredient, cloves. Now, for the maximum effect, let's blend it all together. Okay, I think it's good. I'm taking my saran wrap, I'm spreading it on the table, approximately the length of my fish fillet, plus some extra on the edges to cover it fully. Next, I'm taking my beautiful seasoning and spreading approximately half of it on the saran wrap, approximately the length of the fish. Then I transfer my fish fillet on top of the seasoning. And we spread the rest of the seasoning on the top. Some may say again that it's better to use fish with the skin on one side. Supposedly it will help to hold the shape better. But first of all, nowadays there is no big variety of the fish in supermarkets with the skin on and skin off. We have what we have. And second of all, I personally don't think it will make such big of a difference. We will see by the end of this video. So we'll go with what we have. For the best results, our salmon is going to sit in the fridge in this curing salt for about 2 days. And to achieve best results, I'd like to poke some holes on just on one side, trying not to damage the flesh of the salmon. In that way, when we put it on the rack with holes facing downwards, all the liquid that our salt will take out of the salmon will drain on the baking tray, and our salmon will not sit in the liquid for whole 2 days, which I think is more health and safety. Finally, let's put some weight on it and leave it in the fridge for 2 days. Haha, I've tricked you! I already made one salmon fillet 2 days ago, and this is the result. You see how much water has came out of it? Technically brine, not water. Let's unwrap our beautiful salmon present. Our beautiful cured salmon is ready. What's left is now to properly wash it and slice it thinly. Now that I've properly washed it, I can say that 2 days might have been probably too much, at least for some thinner parts of the salmon, but we'll taste it anyway and we'll see how it tastes. Now, my favorite part. results of my hours of research and days of waiting. Let's try it out. Perfecto. I'd say it's a very good salmon. Salty, but not too salty. In terms of flavor, I would say we are generally speaking about smell, but not so much of taste. I can only taste salt and salmon. Overall, experiment was successful. Next, I'm going to try to smoke our salmon, but I'm going to try and do it without a smoking gun, because I don't have it. And by the way, if you're wondering what I've been talking about at the beginning of this video, what other things are we going to cure? We're going to cure vegetables. Okay guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next video about smoking and curing vegetables. And like this video and leave some comments, and if you know more facts about curing, let me know in the comment section below. For now though, I'll see you in the next videos.